I'm Antonia Mercarella, CEO of the REIQ. Welcome to Close-Ups, a series where we delve into the worlds of agents working in the property industry. In this season, we'll be exploring all things health and well-being related and learning how agents cope with the increasing demands of the property sector. And what better way to explore this topic than with a wonderful and decadent spa treatment here at Stephanie's. I'll be going toe to toe, quite literally, as we enjoy a foot spa and a chat. So let's find out how these agents are prioritising their mental and physical well-being whilst also running a successful real estate practice. Today we're here with Phill Broom, owner and director of Ray White Springfield. Phill, welcome.
Thanks, Antonia. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you with us. Now, you're close to 2 decades in the real estate profession, and it's fair to say that you've encountered some challenges in your professional career, and of course, and now you're running a very successful Ray White franchise. So I want to talk a little bit about the challenge of being a leader. We know that leadership in any industry can be difficult, but let's talk a little bit about how do you ensure that you're keeping your physical and mental well-being in check, and also at the same time being responsible for looking after a team? I know that I can find that difficult. So what can you share with us about that?
So my personal philosophy on first me and then family, I guess, is important because it radiates outward. I have a big thing about 3 buckets in your life that you can influence a tremendous amount of control over. So one is have a bucket for mindfulness. So, your friendships, your relationships, your internal well-being, mentally, etc. Do lots of reading, lots of thinking, lots of talking whenever you can. Mm-hmm. Bucket number 2 for me, or container, whatever you want to call it, would be exercise.
Okay,
which
physical.
is energy and exercise, yeah. Right? So 5-6 days a week, most mornings. Monday to Friday.
What's the exercise involved?
Usually cycling or running, swimming.
Okay.
Occasionally it's something else, but for the most
5 times a week, that's pretty intense.
No, it's typically 6.
Yeah, right.
But at least Monday to Friday
okay.
Is a definite. Saturdays depends on how early I start on a Saturday. So, and then the last one is kind of one that allows you to be, for lack of a better way, grounded but also creative, so your outlets for energies, so to speak. So, we'll spend a lot of effort and energy throughout our days concentrating on doing deals or helping people and assisting them, but you still need a creative outlet or another such, I guess, de-stressor. Right. And so for me, like cooking,
okay.
I find cooking really quite cathartic and soothing. And over the last couple of years, the kids have started to want to be part of it. So,
nice.
I'll get home at the breakfast bar, we'll do all of the prep work and we'll be running through, how was your day, what homework, da-da-da-da-da. Just general chit-chat and
okay.
What obstacles did you face? And they'll ask me and,
So that's, I guess, a really good segue, listening to other people's problems and I guess offering advice. That's something I think that as a real estate principal is a fairly regular occurrence. So talk to me about that. How do you help and support your team, whether it be with professional challenges or even their own personal challenges?
So we've got a fairly process-driven manner of dealing with that, and when I say process, because it sounds a little bit not personal and certainly somewhat obtuse and systematic, but it's really not. And that is, I meet with everybody on our team, and from a performance perspective I meet with most of them 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
One of those sessions is purely how you're feeling.
Okay.
It's not
just
how you're going and what's happening, but what's happening in your world.
Right.
Celebrate wins.
Yeah.
I like to start all of the meetings with, give me some good news. And by, most of the guys are completely well versed now that they just start talking about, hey, just want to let you know I had a really good win on the weekend, did this, played soccer with my team.
So they're personal wins or professional wins or a bit of both?
Yeah, Look, initially it always tends to trend towards professional, but over time it becomes less and less. And a good example, one of the team's been with me now for close to 2 years, and her journey's been interesting. Like, she had some challenges before she came across and joined the team.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard on getting through those. And from a personal wealth perspective, she's hit a milestone that she's never had before, which is just, it was overwhelming, like crying and so happy, right? And then last week she bought her first new car ever.
Right.
In her entire adult life.
That's outstanding.
And
yeah, nice.
To help someone get to that, and I know it seems like an insignificant goal to some, but for her it was meaningful and huge, right? And so it's only onwards and upwards. And so we spent a lot of time on reflecting on how good does that make you feel, So
you'll meet once a week asking them how they feel, and the other 2 meetings you have with your team a week, what's involved there?
Typically structural, like what's happening in your world, work-wise, what have we got coming, what have we got going, where are we stuck?
Because you're big on process, aren't you?
Big
like
time,
that's, And something people might not know about you is you've previously worked as a real estate coach and mentor, and you've mentored some extremely successful agents, and I think a lot of that has been around teaching them how to be very process driven.
Oh, I think, process can seem alien to some salespeople, but it sets you free. It gives you a guide to which way you can go, so you can direct your energies to where they're best served, right? Like, and the question I ask a lot of the team is, what's the best use of your time, energy and resources right now? Like, is it better to do this or this? And if that's causing you to have a block, then can we solve that by removing it from your daily regimen, or can we delegate it away? We've got to get rid of it somehow, right? We can't just break through.
Yeah. So creating that routine, whilst it might not sound very appealing in nature, it's actually a really great way of being able to manage your stress level and create a sense of calm and order.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most reassuring things is a little bit practice and a lot preach. Last 10 years or so has been on, processes and habits. And now all of a sudden there's all these really cool books on it. And that's what I say.
We're all talking about habits now and process. Yeah.
So it makes you feel good. Gives you that sense of validation, right? So.
So Phill, to finish up, I guess any final words of wisdom? Is there one key thing that you would say to someone watching this video that they could implement tomorrow that you think would make a really critical difference in this area of health and well-being?
I think when you're faced with something uniquely stressful to you as a human, you as a person, it sometimes can feel like it can't be solved or it can't be overcome. And one of the easiest rituals I found works, irrespective of how challenging it was or difficult the scenario, is just chunk it down, break it into small little pieces. Start with the edges and work your way in, and eventually you'll unravel it.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us, Phill.
Thanks for having me. Can I go to sleep now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd like to give a special shout out to Stephanie's for hosting us today. Synonymous for luxury, innovation and curated beauty, the award-winning Stephanie's collection of day spas are committed to unsurpassed guest service and unparalleled spa therapy. For a short time, they're extending a 10% discount on any treatment with a 60-minute duration or more. Mention the promo code REIQ at the time of booking to receive this special offer. I'm Antonia Mercarella, and this has been Close Ups. Thanks so much for joining us.